Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Against the Storm. Yeah, I know it's been a little bit since the last time we played the game, but there have been a few major updates in the meantime, and I'm looking forward to showing those off today. We'll get back to that in just a minute, though. For now, let's go ahead and place down our city. I have played a few games in between the last video, not as many as I would have liked, but life kind of got in the way. Let's try going over this direction to get some more food. Sets me up for another good city over here for even more food, and we can block off blue to make sure that we get a higher place on the scoreboard by the end of this. I like the idea behind this. I can consistently beat the game on a Viceroy difficulty. Still hard at times, but overall I think we're doing pretty darn well. What starting caravan do I want? Let me think this through for a second. To be honest, this group just seems like it has more resources across the board except for pies, but that's not always important to me because we're not going to get a lot of extra value out of this in the early game for resolve anyway. So this seems decent. We'll lock down the beavers and the humans. I do like harpies. They've grown on me a lot, but we'll have to live without that. I'm going to take along the small farm just to guarantee that I will be able to do some farming in this game. And how about, what's a lot of extra food? Another 42 vegetables over there, and we could just bring along 3 extra people. Yeah, sure, why not? Extra people is not always a bad idea. Just lets me ramp up my economy a smidge faster. Also, maybe we get our third race. It's a harpy! Hooray! The lizards are increasingly not my favorites. I used to like them a lot, but now I'm increasingly thinking the harpies might be one of the better ways to go. So, what mysteries do we have? Lessen patience during the drizzle. Okay, that's not too helpful. Greater threats. Really nasty resolve lost during the storm and hostility 2. This one sucks. I've had to deal with it a lot. Rotting wood. Do not bother chopping down any trees during the storm. Okay, because otherwise you lose the yield. Hailstorm. There's a chance people die. Good lord, and that fires off at hostility level 2? All 3 of these effects at hostility level 2? This is going to be awful. And then charged rain, another chance of dying once we get up to level 4. Yikes. Okay, this is kind of unpleasant. I'm not really happy about this, but such is the way of things. Let's go ahead and start by placing down a couple of woodcutters' camps. Where are some dangerous glades? There's one over there, and oh, they're all kind of far away, actually. This is awful. So I've kind of decided you don't really want to take down these small glades if you can avoid it. It's a lot of extra hostility for not a whole lot of extra gain. Now that said, we may not have much choice. I might need to cut into one of these just to get into another dangerous glade, but if we can get those open, I find it's often kind of worth it. Let's go ahead and just start placing down some patterns for people to start chopping down trees. We're not going to cut into the glades unless I absolutely have to. Let's go over here and turn off the coal. I'm also going to turn off all food consumption, at least for a little while. Now that sounds insane, I know. But the reason I think it may work for us is, weirdly enough, if your people are starving, they don't actually leave your colony. You just lose resolve. And at the very beginning of the game, you can tank that hit. Not for very long, but you can tank it just a little bit. So if you want to make your food last just like one extra cycle longer or something like that, you can do it. It's a little mean-spirited, but it kind of works. Let's also make sure we place a harpy as the fire keeper over here because they do increase the global carrying capacity. And I find that's actually pretty good. I don't remember what the default is, whether it's 5 or 10, but yeah, it's a pretty significant increase to how much people are able to carry around, and I find that makes a very big difference. Let's make sure that we set this to avoid glades except for what has been marked. We'll do the same thing with woodcutters over here. Doesn't quite take me to hostility level 2, but it's very, very close. Okay. And I guess we can use my harpies to do some herbalist stuff because they're pretty good at gathering all of the fungi. Alrighty, what else do we want to do over here? Well, we're going to want to get ourselves a crude workshop. I do hate having to have these, but it's necessary to get myself some early resources like, let's say, some planks. I find that that is going to be very helpful, so we'll go ahead and place one of those down too. First cornerstone, anything that's going to change the game. Golden marrow. I actually do not remember if we are able to gather up marrow in this particular run. We can, so there's a chance that I'll be able to get some extra amber if I do this. Alternatively, gain stormwater production for every 3 woodcutters. Interesting. That could boost up my industry quite a lot. Spices, make a lot of biscuits, or go for a trade build. Ooh. Let's go for the trade build. I haven't done that for a little while. Could be kind of fun for us. So you may be wondering, what was that stormwater thing we just saw? What the heck is that supposed to represent? In fact, what are also these pipes? That's something new, right? Yeah, it is. So basically, the game developers decided that the rain punk aspect of the game was not emphasized quite enough. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on food consumption now, by the way. They decided it wasn't quite good enough, right? People weren't really taking full advantage of it. It was kind of implied, but not very strong. You had rain collectors to get spark dew, but that was kind of it. Well, they've changed that now where spark dew does not exist, but you still can collect the rain and even pump up geysers if you find it. Why? Because the rain has magical properties, and depending on what season you're in, the drizzle, the clearance, or the storm, you can start collecting those 3 different types of water with their different properties. And for certain types of industrial buildings, which I don't really have up and running yet, but I will eventually, you can actually start using pipes to create water engines in those buildings, draining away a special type of water to boost up your production in some way. It's kind of a significant change for the game. It really is. But I haven't quite figured out entirely how exactly you're supposed to make that work and time it I don't know. It changes the game in a big way. I just don't know how to time it all yet. But we'll figure it out eventually. Don't worry. I'm just looking forward to showing it off because it is actually kind of cute. I'm going to get myself some of these big shelters up and a-running because I do think it's important we get some housing for our people. We'll try doing something over here as well, and let's also get a quick decoration because by the time we're done with this, we can get ourselves up to a simple hub, and that's going to get me a little bit of extra resolve. Knowing that we're going into the next storm, that should be easier for me. I'm hoping anyway. I'm starting to get the build order of the game down just a little bit. Not like outstanding, mind you, but I'm getting there a little bit better. And if we can just get some of these dang planks up and running, we'll be fine. I'll also allow people to start getting me some fabric as well as some bricks if we can. And yeah, these pipes right here, they do take your copper or your crystallized dew bars to get 2 of them, and you need 4 for every building that hooks up a water engine. So there's not ever really much point in having more than like 4 of these at a time. But if you're willing to spend the metal on it, it's a pretty darn helpful effect. Now, let's see. The next storm is going to be a little unpleasant even at hostility level 1. I want to keep this as low as possible, but to be honest, as our population grows, there's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do about it. We are going to start gaining a lot of hostility. If I'm lucky, I'll gain some sort of a cornerstone that will make it easier for me to burn off some of that hostility a little early on, if we are lucky. We may get lucky on that, and we may not. It's you know, always really hard to tell, but if we do get lucky on that, I'll feel pretty good about myself. And here comes that first storm. Still only at level 1, so it's not that bad. If we're looking at the Harpies leaving, I can always just favor them temporarily and just keep juggling this back and forth. I don't think we're at risk of losing anyone right now, so we're doing okay. So I'm getting myself plenty of wood. I should be getting myself a decent amount of food in the form of these fungi, which can actually be ground down into flour, but this isn't going to be a good long-term solution. Not a lot of that to go around at the moment. We're gathering up some clay. I have a trade post up and running, so as soon as the storm is done, we'll be able to start doing some trading with people if I want to. And I haven't touched my orders, and I haven't touched my reputation. The reason I haven't touched my orders is because I recently got the ability to have special timed orders. So there's no point in picking these up early if you don't think you need to, right? Otherwise, you might find yourself getting a timed order and you have to just make it a snap decision right now. I'd rather wait until we start up with year 2. And then when we're about to crack in some glades, and that's often an early game mission, then we can worry about taking our first order, and that's going to be right about now. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, crack into some glades, no problem. Or have a trading post in 10 amber, get some tools. That's good. I don't care about the glade event production as much. I mean, it's nice. This actually would be pretty good for me as well to get more grain and more fabric, but this one's easier to accomplish, I think. We're going to try that one. Then let's see. Oh, there's a timed one right there. So make the Harpies have 15 resolve for 30 seconds. Do that, and I'll get 5 herbs per minute for the rest of the game. That's really good. I want to make this happen. We're going to put everything we can into doing this. I think it is possible, though it is going to be a little bit rough. And then finally, open up 2 more glades, get their events, get some building materials, get more people, jerky, blah, blah, blah. Or this one we're already doing, actually. It's kind of the same thing I'm already doing. Do I want 2 more Harpies, or would I rather go for something like, let's say, packs of crops, so I can get even more production here? See, this seems like the thing to do, and it's not bad, but I think I'm actually going to take this one because it does give me some additional trading options, and if we're going for a trade build, and that's kind of what we're doing with export specialization, that's something I think we're going to want to focus on. Cornerstone, Woodcutter's Prayer, lose all of my fuel, and then we just get really good at getting wood. Trade Hub, gain reputation every time you sell a lot of amber. Yeah, that's pretty solid, but you do get slower reputation from resolve. That's painful, but I still think this might be better. Or This is actually even better, I think. Hang on, wait a minute. Global resolve every time you sell goods worth 40 Ember. So here's the thing. We can either focus on selling stupid amounts of things, and that's how we're just going to farm out reputation and win, or we can just sell lots of things, get my resolve super duper high, and then we'll just use resolve as a method of winning the game, which is honestly really solid anyway. I'm going to take Prosperous Settlement. I think it is pretty good. At least I hope it's pretty good, and that's going to be good enough for me. Okay, good. So how can I get myself a little bit more happiness with my harpies? We can try setting up some additional housing for them. I guess that's one option. We don't have very many harpies is the thing. You'd like to think that it's going to be really easy to make these guys happy. I'm not sure that's true, though. 15? We're 3 shy? I don't think that the harpy house is going to get me there, if I'm honest. Uh-oh. But we've only got 7 minutes to get this figured out. Maybe we can get something bought, like some jerky or something along those lines, some sort of a food, which will make it easier to get my harpies where I need them to go. Maybe. Let's see. 14, we're 1 shy. 1 shy. All right. We're going to find out what this trader has. Pray that it's something I can use. No, no, and also no. Dang it. No. No. Okay, hang on. My only other option? Sell a load of stuff. Sell a load of stuff, get +1 resolve. Let's say for now, 4 of my wildfire essence. I need to sell like 40 worth of stuff though, right? 40 amber? Ooh, that's not gonna work well. I don't think I have 40 amber worth of stuff. Uh-oh. Let me think. Is there any way I make this work? The answer is yes, but you're gonna think this is really stupid. But it does work, I believe. So what I can do is sell off just enough goods. Let's say lumber. I can just sell a bit of this, get up to 30 or so amber. Okay, so I've now got 30 amber. Now I got 24 amber. What I can do though is I sold 30 worth. I can now sell 10 amber worth for, weirdly enough, more amber if I want to. And this is a way of losing 2 amber, but getting +1 resolve. It's really dumb. But it does also sort of kind of work. Yeah, but the point is, boom, by doing this, what did I just find over here? Oh, lo and behold, we're getting up to 15. Thank God. All right, we're gonna be able to make my timed mission work. I'm smart! I kind of do want to get the Trapper's Camp, if I'm honest, because I would be able to get meat and eggs on the map, and those both do exist. I would need to get myself at least a little bit more amber, though, and I don't really have a lot I can sell. I can't sell off my last wildfire essence. I definitely want to have at least 1 more camp. I don't want to sell any tools, either. That would just be kind of stupid. We could sell parts. I hate doing that. Yeah, all right, good enough. We'll do this. Buy the Trapper's Camp. Tempting to get things like fungal growth. Very tempting to get things like the reinforced needles, but this is going to open up a whole new food source that I'm going to be needing. Oh, the harpies actually just somehow got up to 16. Oh, it's because they're eating the biscuits from finishing another meal. Well, that's nice, I guess. All right, reputation bonuses. We can finally start using some of these. Do I want any of these? The smithy is okay, not outstanding. Cookhouse could be useful, actually. If I do want to get, let's say, grain and turn those into flour, biscuits will apply to all 3 of my people. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this. There's a plantation, which is actually really good. Gets you a pretty hefty amount of food. But I've already got a farm, so I'm not sure this is what I need. I'm going to go ahead and do a reroll. Forger's Camp, Workshop. Workshop, you know, I think it's worth it. It's basically just a straight up better version than the crude Workshop. Gets you planks, fabrics, bricks, and stuff a lot cheaper. I think we might as well just do that, make things go further. And a supplier for some flour. I like that. I was hoping for something that would... Ooh, copper bars. I was hoping for something that was going to let me also get provisions. So basically the provisioner. Yeah, I think I'll just take the supplier. Get the flour. The kiln means that I'll never have to worry about things like my my fuel supply again. And I think that might be worth it because it's just solid to have that as an option. All right, we've got a lot of stuff all of a sudden. A lot of stuff. But this is good. This is really good. And the ability to start producing all of my building stuff a lot cheaper, I think, is solid. And we can go ahead and turn this in and get the 5 herbs per minute. Now, herbs aren't outstanding or anything, but now that I'm also able to get flour, what this is going to mean is I'll have a constant source of a secondary ingredient to guarantee I can make things like biscuits. at any time, which is going to be really, really good for me. Tool shop. It's hard to say no to the ability to make simple tools for a really good price. I know we don't have a method of getting copper bars or crystallized dew, but if we need to buy that, I'll happily do so. What matters is I'll be able to make the tools for a pretty decent price. More orders. You know what? I'm going to hold off on these for a second. Let's find our footing and kind of get ourselves together again over here. And can we please just chop down this gosh dang forest? I want to get in there. Okay, here comes the workshop. Excellent. So this is just going to be just straight out better value across the board. Let's just go ahead and set a limit on all of these. And I really am going to need to find some good... we're good on clay and stuff. We're good on everything here. This is really good. We're solid. We're in a really good spot right now. I did just realize the permanent herbs means we'll be able to get packs of provisions pretty much non-stop as well. Oh, that's going to be very nice for when we decide we want to start doing a... want to start doing a whole load of trade. This is actually going to go really, really well. So, okay, yeah, getting those herbs basically just made trade build very viable this game. Okay, we finally crack into this thing. What do we find? It looks like a corrupted caravan. Okay, I need to get some blight rot or whatever, or we need to burn it away in some way. I don't have enough coal, but we could produce it if I go for the kiln quickly. More wildfire essence, a load of flour, some copper bars means tools, or get a load of amber and some reputation, which I honestly think could be a better way for me to go here. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the coal on this, but it means I now need to get this kiln up and running ASAP, which we're already in the process of doing, so that's fine. And then with a load of coal, we should be able to purge that away easily. Now, rainwater isn't the only thing that changed in the latest update. Blight got completely reworked as well. So previously, Blight, right, remember those weird growths that you see over here, were basically attacks on your economy. The stronger you were, the more of those Blight assists you were going to have all over the place. And it was really annoying dealing with those things. But the developers listened to the community on that and said, you know what, it makes sense. Instead of attacks, we make this into a system where you can opt into it if you want to. So for example, if I were to go over here to the workshop and connect these pipes, which I think I'll go ahead and do just to show you this, we can now activate water engines. Let's say I do something like this using stormwater. But by opting into rain engines, we also have enabled the blight as a mechanic. Otherwise, it's completely disabled and not something that's going to matter with you. Kind of interesting, honestly, and I like that. I think it makes a lot of sense that you can opt into mechanics rather than feel like they're just dragging you down. It makes for a more complete game. It's one of the things that I think I really enjoy about this game, and I really respect about the developers, is it feels like they have a great design philosophy for their games, which just makes me so happy. Now, we are going into a storm at a time when I'm currently working on getting rid of this, which is always awful. So we have terrible global resolve. I'm probably going to need to shut down all of the woodcutters camps. We already know, actually, once you get up to level 2 hostility, there's no point in having woodcutters camps anyway. So no point in having somebody over here. I mean, maybe one. Yeah, you can afford to have one, and it's not going to impact my resolve. But remember, at level 2, the wood just gets completely rotted through. You destroy their entire yield. So they'll just waste all of your trees. Yeah, might as well shut down the woodcutters camps at that point and save the hostility. Right now, I'm actually juggling between favoring my two species, the beavers and the harpies over here. And by keeping them technically in the positive by just doing this, they're not going to leave me. Which, at some point, this isn't going to work for us. Eventually, we're going to get overwhelmed by just how many people we have to deal with, and the hostility is going to be too high. But at least for right now, see, there we go. It's enough. We're actually able to get through the storm without too much issue. We finish up with the rich harvest, which means we're actually even better at producing these now, if I want to. Another cornerstone, what do we get? Every time someone dies, we get amber. You know, terrible, except we are going to have people die, most likely, because at level 2, we're going to start having a chance for people to die, right? Guild catalog, I don't think this is what I want. Hostility for every Ooh, but see, reducing hostility is really good. That said, realistically, I only expect this to reduce hostility by about 80. I'm kind of tempted to go for the blood price contract. I don't think it's great, but it means that when people die, at least I get something out of it. I'm going to take this. Weirdly enough, I am going to take it. And let's go ahead and pick up the orders now at this point. So have a bunch of humans, make them happy, get access to a brick oven for free, get some of the ancient tablets, become even better at exporting, I love that, or get oil and coal. Sacrifice these, actually. Sorry, I don't even have any oil yet. Become good at getting things like resin. Yeah, we're going to go for the ancient tablet, see if I can find some way of cracking something open to get that. This just stacks up well with what I'm already trying to do. Make the beavers happy or make the harpies happy. Become good at making skewers or get a bunch of beavers, make them happy. Get a lumber mill for free. I think that, honestly, this is the better way to go. The beavers resolve. 24 is kind of a tall order, but eventually I might be able to pull that one off. I don't really love all of these options here, but I guess we could go for the provisioner just so I can get packs of provisions and start doing a lot more trade if I want to. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, and that way I don't have to rely on the makeshift post for packs of provisions anymore. We should be fine. By the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some trade routes and see if there's anything we can sell off. I've got eggs, for example. Could sell a bunch of those, right? Yeah, sell a whole bunch of eggs, get some more amber. It's okay. Smoldering City, we can get rid of some coal. I've got plenty of that. Yeah. We could sell like 20 coal, get 15 more amber. I'll do that one. And then I'm not going to sell any tools for absolute sure. So, okay. Let's sell to Radar. This is just better value for my eggs. Okay, now this is interesting. We could go for the smelter. This would allow me to start making copper bars. But I obviously would need to be buying copper every time it comes by. But with our kiln, this would allow me to basically have only one vulnerable point to be able to start actually getting myself tools. I think we have to go for the smelter. It's not immediately useful, but it will be eventually. Now, this is going to be fun. So, with the provisioner, I could start making some flour, and with a cookhouse, we'd be able to go ahead and start making myself some of those biscuits I was talking about. Not a bad plan. That said, I really would prefer to have a more... Well, there's our farming opportunity right there, actually. There's farms. Yeah, okay. So I think what we want to do now is place down a small hearth. This is all very awkwardly placed for the record, guys, but if we can get a hearth up here, we could turn this into another industrial area, farm, warehouse, and maybe Miss Biscuits up over here, and that would be a huge boon to getting my resolve up and running. Oh, and I always forget to do this. Let's also go ahead and set up things like a park and, I don't know, maybe a garden or something if we can fit it, like, right over here. I want to get this thing upgraded to a proper neighborhood so we can get ourselves some production bonuses over here. It's a very cheap thing to do once you get enough people together. Which we've got, and honestly, 20 population is kind of all we want in this area, so that's all the more reason I really need to get myself another hearth up and running. Old Farlif arrives, and I've already got 56 amber from how many trades and stuff I've been doing so far. That's great. Ooh, a rain mill. That would get me even better flour production. But you know, I think it would make a lot more sense to go for cheap things like shovels and reinforced axes, so I now move faster, and I chop down wood a lot faster. Hey, look! Copper ore. Yep, that is something we said we want. I'll buy all 50. Thank you very much. Now, what's really funny is, if I wanted to abuse a mechanic here, you know how I was trading off some amber for amber at a literal loss? I could do that again right now, and I could sell another 31 amber worth, and I could just basically keep doing this, and trading off, like, what is it, 20% of my amber to start boosting up my resolve even higher. I'm not sure if this is what I want to do, but, like, the fact that I can do it is kind of hilarious, right? Anyway, we've got plenty of copper ore now, so I really need to be getting myself a smelter so we can start making myself tools. Once I have tools, we can start opening some of these glades with impunity. Though I am hovering, by the way, on hostility level 4. Good God. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So we're going to start up a really big construction project over here. We're going to be trying to get ourselves the farm up and running. We want to get the warehouse up and running. We need to get a hearth up and running. And basically there's a lot to do, and I'm completely out of food. Right. Yeah. I probably don't need this many people working at the provisioner. I really do need to get something like a cookhouse now that we are going to have some flour and stuff. So let's go ahead and place this so we can use that flour, and we'll start actually making the biscuits I need. That's going to be a big resolve boost for me. We also need to get some housing, amazingly, on top of everything else. Yeah, one of each type of housing should do for the moment. This is going to cost me, like, everything I've got. This is too many construction projects at once, guys. Way too many. Once again, the storm comes, and what do we have to do? That's it. Shut down all of the woodcutters' camps. There is no point in having all this hostility and wasting the trees. And yet, we're still going to have some issues with resolve. We might end up losing a harpy or so, depending on whether these harpy houses actually make these guys happy. And we need to get the hearth up and running, please, and thank you. I guess what I could do is just burn some extra coal. There we go. Yeah. Burn through the extra coal, and that would actually also do the job. But no point in burning the coal until we're actually about to lose a harpy anyway. There we go. We're going to get through this one as well. Boom. Okay. Another cornerstone. Please give me something good. Gain a lot of meat and grain for every completed dangerous or forbidden event. Maybe. Baptism of Fire. Now, see, this one's interesting. Every time you burn down 3 of these cysts, you reduce hostility. I don't know if this one's as good anymore. We do not want to lose trading for sure. Cooking steam. Food production speed increases for every bit of drizzle water stored. I think we're going to re-roll and see if we can get something a bit better. Lumber tax, yeah, more amber, not bad. Rich glades, ancient pact, know about that. And copper extractor, gain copper for all the wood. You know what, let's just go ahead and just boost up our amber production. Again, the more stuff we buy with amber, that counts as selling amber to buy things. So the more amber I've got, the more resolve I can get. There's no losing from that arrangement. One thing I did just realize I've screwed up is I needed 2 wildfire essence in order to set up a hearth. Uh-oh. Ooh, wait a minute. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. Okay. We need to buy a wildfire essence when the next trader comes through. I've honestly got enough impatience at this point. Let's just go ahead and call the guy immediately. I can afford 0.5 more from the queen. It doesn't matter all that much. I don't know if Sother is going to have any of the wildfire essence I need, but on the other hand, if we can open up a glade, maybe we can find an opportunity to get some as well. Right, there are opportunities. Ah, he doesn't have any. Dang it. All right. Copper ore production. Gain pottery every time we open glades. Wine production. And builders carry extra items. Boo. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get the free pottery. That's not so bad. Why do I have 77 provisions? Holy frick. Sell off the packs of crops. And then what? This guy doesn't want much of my stuff. It makes me sad. We're just gonna have to let him go. Unless you've got some food. Do you have food? This guy doesn't even have any food. What are these? This guy's got nothing I want. Nothing. All right, tell you what. Cookhouse is the new top priority over there, if you can. Where am I gonna get some more dang glades? I'm surrounded by all these tiny, terrible ones. This sucks. Well, at least we got a cookhouse up and running, which means if I want to toss a couple people in here to start making some of these biscuits, we can. I don't have a lot of flour to go around, mind you. Not much, but every little bit that I can helps. And yeah, let's set a provision limit. Please stop wasting all my stuff. Gonna call another trader a bit early. Cost more impatience. Looking for anything that helps me here. None of this is gonna do it. Boost up woodcutting even further. Productions for barrels. Get the carpenter. That's not going to help me much. Advanced smithing's fantastic. I can't say no to that. But yeah, no, this is not good enough. We're hurting here right now. I really screwed up. Well, I don't know if I screwed up selling that wildfire essence. I kind of think I needed to do what I did just to get the harpies up to the 15 resolve, but it's certainly coming back to bite me now. Okay, what do we have here? Fuming machinery. We could use up our clearance water and go ahead and burn through this. Become really good at crystallized dew. Okay. Every 2 caches opened can get me extra global resolve. Interesting. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be outstanding for me, and I don't have a method of getting crystallized dew yet, though we could theoretically farm that in the future. But I do think that there's a chance we're going to open up caches in the future, and every bit of extra resolve kind of helps. I'm going to try this and see if it works. Anybody got something I could use? Wildfire essence? Or something? You know? Anything? No? Okay. Here's a geyser, by the way. So you can just start farming out some clearance water pretty consistently if you want. Basically, stormwater is used for almost all major industry buildings, like this one at the tool shop, for example. I'm going to go ahead and connect some pipes, and we're going to turn on the engine for reliability and stuff over here. That should be nice. If we had any stormwater, it would be anyway. But let's see, what is it? I think some smaller industrial buildings can use clearance type of water. I don't know if I have any that does that as a good example. Oh, the provisioner does. There we go. So you can use clearance water that way. Or the cookhouse, for example, you could hook up some pipes. And this uses drizzle water. And same thing, we can just go ahead and boost this up. Chance of double yields increases by 25%. Boosts the speed by 50%. We can boost it even further if I want to use up all my water. There's also the option to increase the resolve of the workers in this particular building. And you can do that twice. Depends on how fast you want to burn through all the water. Oh gosh, another one of these timed things, 10 minutes. This is an unbelievably good reward for me, but I don't think I have enough tools to open up 3 caches in the next 10 minutes. Gosh, it's so tempting. I want it badly. But here's another option. Complete some trade routes. Get the essence I'm looking for. I think we have to go for that one, though it really hurts. I would have loved to do the timed one. Get a couple of ancient tablets. Open some stuff up. Get more pottery? Maybe. Rebuild some stuff. Have packs of provisions. Sure, more tools. That's not bad. Or make humans happy. We're going to get 2 ancient tablets at some point, I'm hoping. But once we do that, I'll turn in the other mission, and then I have to find 2 more. I think I'd rather go for this, even get some extra tools. And for this one, have 175 clearance water. That's not going to happen. Sell 60 amber worth of stuff. Yeah, that works. Or have a kiln and 60 coal. This one, basically, we can just finish, like, right now. But this has a reward I care about, and therefore, I'd rather go for the booming economy. It's not always about doing what's easy. Sometimes it's about doing what actually gets you the reward you're looking for. And here comes the next storm, and of course the resolve is once again looking absolutely abysmal. And people are dying, but you know what? That's 20 more amber for me, and technically the less people we have, the more hostility goes down. So like, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, another cornerstone, biscuit diets. Farmers being able to produce extra under the effect of biscuits could be good for me. I don't care about this. Gain beaver resolve for wine-produced insects. This is the only one that makes any sense. So we're going to end up having some really, really good farmers going forward. And by the way, I am going to start farming out some resolve from the harpies. A bit later than I would have liked, but we're going to go ahead and get that going. So I can get another farm set up over here. I just really wish I had some more people, but let's go ahead and start planting down some grain while I can. And then, yeah, where am I going to woodcut next? It really sucks that there's not more dangerous glades closer. Okay, we finally have 8 trade routes done. I've got my wildfire essence. Boom, my traders come by faster, and now I can get this darn thing built up. Thank you, small hearth. Okay, this is going to solve a lot of issues. I've had a lot of homelessness that's dragging down my resolve, but this is going to be great. We do have a trader. I'll come back to you in just a second. Who do we get assigned? I guess we can go ahead and do a human just to reduce the impatience growth. But now, for my next reputation building, stamping mill. This is relatively new for me. I don't think this does me any good. Manufactory, no. An explorer's lodge. It would be good to be able to start producing some sort of a luxury good and then having a leisure building. I don't know if the explorer's lodge is the one that I really want, but I could do it. There's also the manufactory, which solves my... No, I don't need provisions. I can already do pigment. The only thing we're doing here is getting training gear. You know what? Let's try re-rolling. I think we can do that. A market's solid. Tinctury would let me start producing ale and wine. Alchemist's Hut would let me start producing crystallized dew, cosmetics, and wine. Let's think about that for a second. I don't have any way of making cosmetics. I could make the crystallized dew... And I don't have a great way of making wine. I guess I'm okay with taking the market. It's got a pretty nice effect for one person here. You increase global carrying capacity by 10. Like, even if I don't have the leisure, this is still really good for me. So I'll go ahead and pick that up. But I'd love to start being able to produce either cosmetics or wine in order to start really taking full advantage of it. And what is this? Mystery boxes? Ooh! I don't know if I've ever seen the Warlander before. Do we gamble? I kind of feel like gambling. I want to gamble. Big mystery box. What do we get? We get a whole load of stuff, and we get eggs forever, and we're really good at harvesting eggs if only I could find them. I mean, it's something. I'm going to do it again. What else do we get? We are now very good at getting copper ore and some wood every time we open up a cache. Also, bigger vegetables. All right, to be honest, that's not, like, amazing. But, like, okay, you know, cool, whatever. I'll take it. I mean, realistically, I should be pretty good at making amber and stuff in the future. So, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. I'm trying to justify my gambling problem, but I think we're okay. Last order coming through. If I did brawling, I could become very good at this. Or, I've already got the provisions, basically. I could just get the ranch. That would solve meat issues for the rest of the game. I also don't need that very badly. Still, you know what? I'm gonna double down on getting luxury. I know it sounds crazy. We had just been talking about doing other stuff, but like, I'm gonna, and the reason I'm gonna is because I think that overall, getting high resolve is gonna be how I win the game easily. So anything that helps enable that more effectively is probably still a good deal for me. Storm's gonna be finishing up very soon. Shouldn't have too many issues. Let's go ahead and place my woodcutters back. I'm gonna try to crack into a glade since I've got plenty of tools. Probably worthwhile. Cornerstone, please give me something good. Plant mushrooms if you want to. It's okay. Protected trade. Reduce hostility every time we sell a bunch of goods. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This stack's so unbelievably good with a trade build. I love it. By the way, we can go ahead and favor, let's say, the humans and start farming out 0.17 resolve. I could also start doing this with the harpies to get 0.29. And this is a bit cheeky, but I could theoretically just keep bouncing my favor between the two and keep them both up and running if I'm willing to, and that gets me to 0.3 extra resolve per minute. It's kind of stupid that I can do this, but, like, it works. Oh, hello. We found a fishman outpost, which is going to scare people. Yay. I'm gonna go ahead and burn off some sea marrow to get rid of this. I need to stop chopping trees is the problem. Every time I chop down additional trees, we're gonna start losing some global resolve, which is obviously a no bueno. So let's shut this all down, with the exception of maybe leaving one open. I do still want to try to crack into this, but we just don't want to chop down too many trees or else we're gonna hurt ourselves. So yeah, anyway, by reducing the hostility though, you can see that my resolve's nice and high. And we can just keep these guys ping-ponging back and forth, and now we're getting 0.32 per tick. That's not half bad. Still no sign of any artifacts. Dang it. Oh, and we did crack into this. We have a Blight Rock Cauldron. For every 20 food produced, we start spawning some nastiness. Oh, good. Okay. Plant crops faster and get lots and lots of packs of crops. You know what? We can do this and really just stack up my ability to get a lot of extra amber by selling these packs of crops. I mean, alternatively, we could just go for the reputation. You know what? The odds that I'm going to get enough packs of crops where this is going to be better than the 20 amber plus reputation's not very high. All right, we're going to get rid of 2 of these dangerous glades at the same time. This is multitasking, folks. Another reputation comes. What do we get? I don't need the smithy. The granary would let me start getting packs of crops way more efficiently. Which is okay, I guess. Be able to make pies, blah, blah, blah. I think we need to re-roll again and try for some sort of a better leisure building. I mean, a plantation wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. A monastery is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I am able to make things like ale, right? Unless I am remembering incorrectly. Let me check. No, I cannot. Okay. So this doesn't actually do me a whole load of good either, to be honest. The green brew is nice. Hostility reduced by 100, but it takes 3 people to do that. I'm kind of tempted to say we should just re-roll and try for something better later. Sold a load of stuff to the latest trader. That's going to get me a bunch of extra tools, plus the traders arrive faster. More people is not going to help me as far as my hostility. We now get up to level 6 there. Oh, good lord. Right, well... Alright, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to re-roll again. Temple kind of works. The brewery for ale also really works well for me because I'm making a load of grain. Loads of grain. So if I want to, I can take this and then I have to bank on getting something like, ironically, the monastery later, so I can get a load of leisure this way. This would make my humans, at the very least, very, very happy, I think. It should also make the beavers happy too, which is a goal. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the brewery. It just works for now, and worse come to worse, if I want to start packing up some luxury goods and selling that, we could do that instead. And knowing that hostility has been as bad as it is, I'm tempted to say we should just do the selling amber trick in order to trigger more hostility reduction from protected trade. Yeah, I'm going to lose 6 amber to do this. and it reduces hostility by a little bit. And we could do that again if I wanted to, in theory. Yeah, see, now we're back down to hostility level 5 right before the storm, and I did get another boost to my resolve. Not a lot, mind you, but some. Storm clears. What do we get? Friendly relations. Resolve goes up for every 3 levels of standing with other settlements with trade routes. So if I keep going for trade routes, then we will start getting a lot of extra resolve. That's not bad. Or we could reduce hostility. But you know what? I'll take the friendly relations. Trade routes. It's what it's all about now. Lots of them. And actually, my resolve is pretty darn high across the board. Are we about to hit? Oh, we're actually at all 3 of them! Passively! Without me favoring! Oh, that is 0.64 extra resolve. That is pretty good. There's a monastery. All right, this would be a way of using my leisure. Alternatively, there's also the forum, which could be pretty good. Education, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the guild house, which is good for wine, and the bathhouse, which is good for cosmetics. We did, by the way, make the beavers happy, so let's go ahead and pick this up for even more woodcutting capabilities. Good lord. We do actually have scrolls. So I guess it's not a bad idea to go ahead and just pick up the forum. Or we could do the monastery, which is better, religion or education? In this case, I'm pretty sure it's education, because that'll affect the harpies and the beavers. Last reputation point. What else can I do here? Wine is my only other option. I can use that with... You know what? It's not bad. I can use this with my marketplace. All right, we are in the final stretch. If I can just start making wine and beer, I think we're set. Let's get some people employed over here at the forum. We can start doing the leisure and the education. We're going to see our resolve skyrocket. I'm going to start producing some wine using... Oh, crud. I don't actually have any berries and stuff. Tell you what, I'm just going to call you. Yeah, it's a couple impatience points. Who cares? Let's get the trader in here, see if we can buy the last little bit of stuff that I need. Worst come to worst, though, we should start seeing the forum is going to make people happy. And it would be nice to get the public lectures for even more production yields bonuses, but oh well. And you do not have any of the stuff that I wanted. Well, thanks for that. No, really, though. Thanks. That's... Oh, man, that is so great of you. That's fine. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade away Amber, lose 20%, and start boosting up my resolve a little bit at a time. That little bit is nice. I've got so much gosh dang Amber, I could buy pretty much everything you've got, and I really wouldn't feel that bad about it. Sure, we'll buy a whole bunch of coats. We're going to go ahead and buy a whole bunch of scrolls. I could buy... I don't really care. How about your infused tools? Why not? I don't know. We're just trying to sell off my Amber. That's enough to get me like an extra 3 or so resolve. The beavers are back up and running. The harpies are back up and running. There we go. There we go. So all I have to do at this point is just sit back and wait for my tools to be used up. I don't have anyone to spare, but I'm pretty sure between the resolve bonuses I'm getting right now, plus finishing up these caravans, plus I was working on this abandoned cache. Yep, that's about enough. So at point, I mean, we're the resolve across the board. Oh, we're looking great. Yep. Who even cares about the storm? Who even cares? We've got this. We're fine. Everything's fine. We win. There we go. Okay, and we get a couple of extra deeds out of the arrangement. 80 trade routes and 5,000 amber worth done. 93 more foodstuffs. That's not half bad. Okay, and then the next settlement I would probably do is going to be up in this direction to try to get this food as well and start working toward, I don't care, something over here. This is going well. This has gone really, really well. And we are in second place right now on the global map. Let's take a look at the Smoldering City. You can see what I have upgraded as of late. Still got a long way to go, unfortunately, but I am going to pick up the extra Citadel resources, so every time we finish up a town, we get more value. One shy from being able to do this one. Oh, come on, really? Ah, man. Let's increase the number of trade routes that I can have at a time. That was actually kind of slowing me down last time, and next map, I'll easily be able to pick this one up. Getting even more resources out of each map, which means next time around, I'll be able to get 102 food if we complete this one in the marshlands. That's not bad. So we're starting to scale up a lot faster. Anyway, that's kind of cool though, right? I mean, the whole way that the rainwater works, it's not like it's super obvious. It's kind of however much you want to opt into it is kind of how much you're going to get out of it. If I had gone for a lot more rain collectors, and stored up a lot more water. Could we have turned that on a lot more industry buildings? Absolutely, we could have. Would we have had a lot more blight rot to deal with? Absolutely. Would it have been worth it? Yeah, probably. I'm still kind of figuring out the balance of that stuff, but it's a pretty cool change. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.